everybody, welcome back to Kerbal Space Program. Today we're going to start getting some more stuff ready for our moon mission. Primarily what I think that's going to... I'm going to check something here. Okay, everything looks good. Let's end this though, since that's just waiting to launch. Primarily what this is going to involve is basically a Gemini mission, meaning I'm going to rendezvous 2 ships in orbit just to prove that I'm able to do that, because that's going to be something I'm going to need to do. We're going to do, let's go ahead and call this, amazingly enough, Gemini 1. Go ahead and save that. Now I'm going to use my standard lifter that I use for smaller things here, since we're only going to Kerbin orbit, but I'm going to have to make some changes here, aren't I? Trying to decide. I think this pod's going to be the first one to launch. And I'm going to EVA the Kerbin, or whatever, the Kerbonaut, out of this pod into the other pod. So I'm going to have to use a bigger pod for the other one. But that means it still needs this probe body. Yeah, it still needs the probe body so it can crash land. I don't need this. You probably just... Since this one's not coming back, I don't really care if it has the ability to separate here at all. What the heck is going on here? Here we go. Yeah, this one's not coming back, so it's fine like that. Kind of ugly, but it'll get the job done. Now, I'm pretty sure there's no way to launch a command pod with a specific number of crew in it, so I'm going to have to, for the second part of this, probably put a ladder on the things. Oh, that's gonna take forever to crawl all the way down that ladder. Yeah, but we're gonna have to do that, I think. I guess I could. Now, what I could do is I could EVA the guy and just end his flight when he's right there on the. Yeah, that's what I'll do. So let's go ahead and save this and create another new one. This is gonna be the 3-man pod. Now this one does need fancy sort of re-entry kind of stuff on it. So first things first, utility. There's so much extra crap in here because of all the mods I have installed now. It's hard to find what I want. Is this the right pair? That seems kind of small. M25. I probably don't need a double size variant, so we'll call that good. Now let's move this up and get that lifter out. Put that there. Now this one, really? This command pod's all huge compared to... let's get that moved. Get rid of that, put MechJeb. You can go right there, MechJeb. We don't need that probe. Is this the right size? This is the wrong size adapter. There is an adapter for this, just to make this a little less silly looking. Oh, but I need a Sepratron in there, or we're gonna be in some trouble too, aren't we? I think that's too small. This one seems like it'll work just fine. So, bam. Bam. Kind of stupid looking at the top there, but I think it'll still work. It has SAS. It has everything it needs, it looks like. Is all the staging still correct here? Where is this even listed? The staging is not correct here. That'll be the last step there. And this is going to be Gemini 2. I'm not going to put any docking ports on this because it's really not necessary for this. I just need to get them close, which I think MechJeb will be pretty good at doing. I've never used the rendezvous feature, so that's going to be something. It's probably not going to end well. Alright, so that's good to go, it looks like, as well. All the staging over here still looks right, so let's go ahead and save that. Let's load back up. Gemini 1. Go ahead and launch this thing. I hope I have all my bases covered. I think I do. You never do know, though. So we're just going to go with a standard ascent here up to, let's do 120 kilometers, because that's about where I probably will end up putting a space station at some point. And that's all good. We want it to only separate to stage. Well, it can go to whatever stage it wants. So that all looks good. And good. Isn't there a, oh, select the target for time launch. So there is a timed launch that I can do. Okay. Well, let's get good old Bob up here. Alright, so you guys have seen me launch this rocket before, so I'll just meet you in orbit. Alright, so we're achieving orbit here in a second. I realized I need to make a change to the Gemini 2 before I launch it while I was on the way up here, which is that I believe right now I don't have any RCS on that thing, which is going to be a pretty big problem if I'm trying to do fine orbital maneuvers. This will just be the stationary target, so I don't think it really needs RCS, so I don't need to like relaunch or anything like that. But I'm going to need to fix that once we get our orbit established here. Alright, it's looking good. You know, plenty of fuel to deorbit like always. This rocket's pretty good for just putting basic stuff right up in orbit. Of course, when I'm building my space station, I'm going to have to do something a little better because the segments of that are going to be pretty heavy, but this works for now. And bam. Alright, cool beans. Let's just let Bob chill out there. He can do a few orbits. I believe he's my first Kerbin in orbit since I've started this series up again, so good for him. Let's go ahead and alter the Gemini 2 so that it has some RCS, because otherwise we're going to have some issues. I can probably just add it right in here, I would imagine, and it'll be just fine. You get used to everything being in a certain order, and then when it's not, it's not good. Is that going to be enough? That'll probably be plenty of enough. I can't imagine needing more than that. Are we still good on height here? Yes, we are. I want to make sure it's not clipping into the ground. That all looks good. And then, where are the ports? Let's put a couple up here. And I might as well put a few down here just to have kind of equalized control. Is that lined up? What is that lined up with? That's lined up with that. That way it'll be a little bit more responsive, I hope. Alright, let's go ahead and save that design. Get ready to launch this thing, which means I'm going to have to get one of the Kerbals out of this thing. I didn't check to make sure that my staging is probably fine. I'm going to hope it's fine. Now, who's EVAing? Let's leave you, because I can't even pronounce her name. So I think I can just end his flight. And I should be able to go back to the tracking station. Yep. And do we have an empty seat now? We do. Nice. That worked out well. So let's get our launch parameter. Well, actually, first things first. Where is the Gemini? Not the debris. Okay. I think that's correct. I guess it doesn't matter because they're in like basically the same orbit anyway. Alright, so we set the target. I've never done this with MechJeb, so this is going to be kind of interesting. Launch into plane of target. Launch rendezvous at 25. I don't know. That looks correct. And I want to change my staging so it only goes to stage 2. Just to be safe, because I'm paranoid like that. Launch it to plane of target. Okay. Engaging autopilot. So this is gonna... Okay, it's gonna tell me when to launch here. Nice. That ought to make my life a little bit easier. Is it gonna slow down the time warp? Please tell me you're going to slow down the time warp. You are slowing down the time warp, okay. So this is time to go when this thing... 4, 3, 2, 1... It's going to be interesting to see how this works out. I really don't know. I know this rocket's probably got a little bit more weight behind it because of the RCS and the larger capsule and all that stuff. So hopefully it'll work out. What does it look like inside? Since we're not piloting directly, we can take a moment to enjoy the interior. I like the interiors quite a bit. I actually downloaded some mods for like the Mark III cockpit so that thing has a cockpit. I need to find one for the other plane because it's kind of annoying that there's no interior view on that. Sounds like our rocket just decoupled. Yes, it did. It's a little scary just sitting in here hoping that it knows what it's doing. Oh, we're turning. We're doing the gravity turn. We are doing the gravity turn. What's our altitude right now? What's our vertical speed? Radar altitude. That's not going to help. There's our atmospheric gauge. That's just how quickly I'm ascending. Huh, nifty. Never really messed around with the cabin views that much. Still freaking out over there. Alright, that's pretty. Let's go ahead and see what's happening here. Alright, we got a wiggly, like, intercept thingy, I think, there. That'll probably get better as time goes on. So the capsule is right there. This is very interesting. I hope MechJeb was correct. It should be. It's a computer after all. Like I said in a previous video, I know a lot of people don't really like using MechJeb, but I don't see why not, because I just don't really get much out of manually controlling every launch. Like, I do like piloting some of the launches and stuff, but I think it's kind of more accurate to how things work in the real world this way, and I just kind of enjoy this more. Take some of the stress out of it. Flying the space planes is still pretty stressful because MechJeb can't really do that, and landing has been broken lately, so that's been kind of an issue, but the idea is I'm not really doing seat of the pants kind of stuff here, so it should be okay. Now I'm going to need to use the rendezvous guidance probably here in a second too. Hopefully this will get us close enough. I'm going to just wait until the autopilot disengages, I guess, because then I guess I'll know it's done. Sounds like it just ditched a stage. It did ditch that stage. That is a stupid looking rocket. It really is. But it gets the job done. I didn't feel like adding different fuel tanks and stuff because it should still have enough fuel. Although we're a little behind track on the orbital height here. I'm a little bit concerned how much fuel this is going to use up. I should have put docking ports on this thing so I could have transferred fuel in if I needed it from the other ship, because that one's going to be crashing with tons of extra fuel. It's amazing how much a tiny little bit of weight you put up at the top of the rocket affects the entire performance of the rocket. I think we'll still make it here, but it makes building stuff pretty difficult at times. Don't even get me started. Like I said, I'm trying to develop a space plane that can actually launch a payload. It's hard enough to get anything that will actually go into orbit. I haven't even succeeded in doing that yet, but trying to get something that's going to have a payload on it is pretty impossible. I know people do it. I downloaded a save from the forums that's a pretty awesome transport shuttle, but I haven't been able to get anything like that going. That transport shuttle really screws up the game too, because it's really big. I'll have to show it sometime, and basically it just, even with a decent computer and stuff, it brings the game to a crawl. I really do hope that they port this to a 64-bit version, because it'd be nice to be able to take advantage of extra processor cores. Like, I think it just uses, you know, it's a 32-bit program. I think it's just using one of the 4 cores that I have, and that kind of sucks. And it's only using a tiny bit of the, like, you know, what, 2 or 3 gigabytes. I forgot what the address limit is for 32-bit stuff of RAM, so it's kind of crappy. But what are you gonna do? Alright, we're getting a ascending node there. And then what's going on the other side here? Not real sure what this is. Oh, we got a close encounter going on over here, I think. What have we got here? Is it doing another maneuver? Yes, it is. So target position at intersect 1, target position. I assume it knows what it's doing here. I just have to trust in the machine at this point. Alright, it's getting ready for another burn here. I would actually feel a little bit better if I was doing this by myself, just because I would know it's gonna be right, but yeah, I guess it's getting there. Just weird adding all these different maneuver nodes and stuff. This should be okay. So now we're ready for a rendezvous, I assume. Let's get the rendezvous guidance going here. So our planes... Let's go ahead and align the plane. Teensy tiny little burn here. Might as well do it. I'm going to go through all the steps. Yeah, autopilot enable. Whoa, it's freaking out. I'm not sure this aligning the planes is even necessary right now, because it's 7.9 meters per second. That doesn't really make a very big deal here, but yeah, it's chasing. It's getting there. Like I said, I really never dealt with this stuff before. I've never actually rendezvoused anything, to be honest, so this is a learning experience. We are super close. Alright, teensy tiny little burn. This will make space station construction a lot easier than I thought it was going to be if this actually works out. Why do I have this crazy... What the hell is it doing? Increasing phase rate by establishing new phasing orbit at 235. Okay. Is that just it trying to catch up? I assume that's it trying to catch up. Why did this not work out exactly like I had planned? Alright, so now that thing's in front of us. What is it doing now? Okay, so this is the phasing orbit. This seems kind of crazy. I don't know that this is the most direct thing that it could have done here. What are you doing, man? Sorry I have to show the map so much right now, but I'm just trying to know what the heck is happening. Alright, we still got tons of fuel. We're in our little orbit here. Now it's planning the transfer for intercept. Nice. Alright, so it probably wouldn't have mattered. I don't think I really need to do the timed launch thing because it's doing all this crazy rigmarole here. I could have probably done this easier myself. Whatever. Alright, we're hopefully getting... We have an hour and 44 minutes until our burn. Where is the actual... Okay, that's our target there. And we're coming up on... We need to do another orbit. Wow. This does not seem like the most efficient way to have done this. We were fairly close to start because of the timed launch, but... Apparently it's not going to work out that way. I probably could have skipped a few steps of this because we were already aligned and everything. Okay, I guess we're doing several more orbits. This is crazy. Well, let's enjoy the crazy fast scenery here. I'm gonna run out of electrical charge if I'm not careful. Did I put a solar panel on this thing? I did not. Didn't think it was gonna take quite this long. Well, we have plenty. We're almost to the point where we're gonna be firing the engines again anyway, so we'll get our charge back up pretty quick there. Now, what is going to happen now? Alright, so we got our pod. Looks like we won't be intercepting until over there. Is that correct? 0 kilometers? That sounds like a collision. I hope it's not. Alright, so we'll be 100 and something meters away right now. And it's going to do another burn. Probably just to arrest our orbit into the other orbit there. I gotcha. I gotcha. Mekjeb is a scary thing. Oh, look at that. Probably see the thing, right? Where is it? Should be like right in front of me. Where is the target? Oh, yep, there it is. Closing in super duper fast. Please don't crash us, Mekjeb. Nice. It came out relatively perfectly. Is it doing more? It is. It is doing more. It's gonna get me like right on top of this thing, isn't it? Are you gonna collide us? Please don't collide us. I would prefer to not collide. Doing a lot of maneuvering here. This is more than I bargained for, to be honest, but I'll take it. Oh, so it's gonna let us close right in. I gotcha. This is pretty nifty. Mekjeb, you are my hero. Space station construction is gonna be so easy. So we're gonna be able to... Is it gonna time warp or is it just gonna chill here? I think it looks like it's just kind of chilling. This is going to stop us. I'm going to let it do the stopping because it's going to do a better job than I am here. That was a lot neater than I thought it would be. I didn't have much faith in it because of the way my landings have been going with the automated landing. I thought I was going to have to do this, learn to do this myself, but I understand the principles, and with the maneuver nodes, you know, it's only one step removed from this. So I don't feel bad about doing it. I don't know how to use the EVA jetpacks very well, the RCS packs, so that's going to be interesting as well. Alright, 25 seconds. This is going to be like the teensiest, tiniest little burn that ever happened. I hope it doesn't, like, overcompensate. If I turn on the RCS, will it just use that instead? So that would be kind of nice if it just used the RCS instead. 4, 3, 2, 1. Wow, that parked us ridiculously close, man. Alright. Well, that's that. Let's go ahead and... Where is my port on this thing? Okay, we're moving a little bit away. I don't have a docking port on this either, so that's a little bit of an issue. That looks like that's the hatch there. So, EVA ahoy. This is nerve-wracking. I have to press R to turn that on. Okay, there we go. Oh, it's like super duper easy. How do I go forward though? Oh god. God, slow down. Holy crap. I'm gonna have to look up the controls, because I really don't know what I'm doing. I need to go down, I know that much. Holy crap. Okay, that's rotation, just like you'd expect. Do none of my translation things do anything? Hold on, I'm gonna be right back. I gotta look this up, because otherwise apparently it's just shift and control to go up and down. I am getting pretty far away from that, aren't I? This is not good. Okay, we're getting closer. This is going to take some getting used to. Control. Shift. This is terrifying. Holy crap, that thing looks like it's moving fairly fast. Okay, too much. Gosh darn it. Alright, we're getting there. Grab on. Whew. Okay, we didn't kill him. And I learned how to do EVA. Cool. So everybody's happy and on board the same pod now, so that was pretty successful. So the very first thing I'm going to do here then, now that we've succeeded in that, is get this thing ready to deorbit. Again, trying to basically keep as much space junk from happening as possible. Oh, too much. It doesn't need to be very precise, but for some reason I want it to be. Let's get that mech jeb window out of there. Alright, orbit. And that should be, yep, it's in the planet now, so good enough. And then we'll switch back to the other ship. I'm going to wait to deorbit this one until we get over to the sunny side of things here. Now, I would like all this crap to go away. Let's, how do I unset? Why can't I clear my target? That's the one that I am. I got like maneuver nodes and I got crap all over the place I'd like to just get rid of, but apparently it doesn't want me to unset the target. So anyway, let's just spin around to the night side of the planet and get ready to deorbit. Where is the Kerbal Space Center right now? Is it on the dark side? I can't see any of the features on the planet. I think that's the big continent there. Let's slow it up for a second then. That is debris. Is that from the launch? Yeah, that is from the launch pad. Okay. Cool. So let's go ahead and try to land as close to that Kerbal Space Center as possible. I am definitely not an expert at landing at specific places, but I'm working on it. Okay, please slow down. I have the RCS off. Let's turn that back on for a second. Make this just a hair easier. Alright, so see what we can get done here. I think I just want to like overshoot into the ocean there, and the drag should bring me down. So I'm going to aim for like here-ish. I always end up overestimating how much the drag affects things. It's my biggest problem with this stuff. Let's start slowing it down just a hair so I don't go whizzing past. Be good to get in the habit of trying to land things as much as possible near the Kerbal Space Center, because eventually they are going to have recoverable parts and all that stuff, and I assume there'll probably be more of a cost associated with recovering stuff from further away. Alright, let's call that good and see what happens. Things are freaking out there for a second, but we're good. I do not have any lights on this thing. Yeah, there's not a light on this thing, so gonna be a little bit hard to tell what's going on here. Let's just warp until we get into the daylight a little bit here, so you have something to actually look at. There we go. Now, oh, look at that. Look at that. Always nice. Alright, now it doesn't really matter because the heat effects are just really for show, but I'm going to still put the heat shield of the pod facing in the direction of travel here. And everything else looks good. So I think I'm just going to fast forward till we hit the atmosphere here. Alright, there we are, atmosphere. So let's go ahead and ditch the engine and all that stuff. And let's just kind of say a little prayer, and I guess we'll descend. I probably should have put the mech jeb on the other part, just so that we wouldn't have any extra crap on this thing. Whoa! Holy moly, that thing is maneuverable. All right, let's put it retro. If I can put it retrograde. I have the fine controls on now, so a little better. Forgot how much just the pod flails around. All right, and the drag will probably take care of the rest of that. Get us fully going here. So the Kerbal Space Center is like right, I think it's that like straight part of the shoreline right there. Pretty sure it is. Is that, yeah, that's the rest of the rocket here. Now, I'm not going to hit the chute until after the atmospheric drag effects happen, just because, again, eventually I guess that will matter. It doesn't matter now, but I think it looks cooler and is more realistic, so that's the way I'm going to go with this. Got plenty of power left. Should not be a problem. Oh, and there it goes. Man, that just looks so neat. There's no heat shield on this pod, though, is there? I just realized that. It's got like a docking port on the bottom or something. I thought it had a heat shield. Well, more or less it does. We're going to be just a little bit short here. I did not quite estimate correctly how this drag was going to affect. Looks like the rocket's going to land in the right spot, but we're going to be a little bit short of where we needed to be. So let's take a look at how that actually affected it. So I aimed like right about there. I should have aimed out there probably to be more accurate. I'm just going to like go level with that island and next time I do this and see what happens. Let's get the chute going. Hope that chute's big enough. Should be. It'd be a shame if we survived all this stuff just to have the dude get killed. Neat. Can't really tell how far up we are very well there. I'd rather watch from here. Oh, and there goes the debris. It's gonna smack into the ground in a second. Yep. So I guess I was short with the debris too, but like I said, it's all just a learning experience, getting more accurate with this stuff. I mean, that's better than well, no, it's not better than the stuff I've been doing up at the pole. 43 kilometers. I've been doing about 40 kilometers off, actually, so it's about equal to how I've been doing, unfortunately. Alright, anytime now. Wow, look how excited he is. Dundee was, like, having a little spaz attack there. Guess he's just glad he thinks he's gonna live. He'll probably live. Has the chute fully deployed? I hope not. I didn't hear it make the noise. I might have needed a little bit bigger of a parachute. Because still coming in a little bit hot here. If we can get that down to like 10 meters, we might be okay. I don't think these things survive much more than 12. I don't know if it looks fully popped to me. Uh-oh. It's hard to tell exactly how far above the ground we are. We have the scatter effects on. So there's all kinds of crazy little white dots all over the place, but it's not that useful in telling me. I'm not going to time accelerate either. I don't even know if it would let me. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't when you're in the atmosphere, but I don't want to time accelerate because that screws up the physics engine really bad a lot of the time. Okay, I can tell we're getting pretty close now. The chute probably did fully deploy, didn't it? Because we're up in these mountains. Well, yeah, not good. Might be a little bit rough of a landing here, guys. I like the detail on that. You can see the little winchy system there. Huh, that's pretty neat. I definitely approve of that. 70, we're getting to stopping speeds where we might not die. You guys shouldn't be so happy. I think I underdid the parachute on this module. It would have been fine for the one-man capsule, but this thing's a lot heavier. Oh, damn. I don't have a good feeling about this. Wish we were in the water. Oh, they're okay. A little rough, but they're okay. Next time, bigger parachute. Got to remember that. But anywho, that went pretty well. So I think we're ready to start launching some stuff towards the moon. I don't really have anything else I want to do at the polar base at this second. I do want to do some exploring up there now that I have a rover up there. But I'm not sure. Maybe I'll launch a ISA satellite or something like that. Let's go ahead and just take a look at what we got going now. We can end that flight because they're successful at this point. The Kethane satellite sucks. Like, I should probably update how that's been going. Just like this takes forever. That's kind of what I was trying to get an idea of when I launched this. And every time you come out here, you have to activate it and do this. Like, this thing's been up here for 13 hours of time acceleration, and that's all that it's mapped at this point. It is horrifically slow. It's also really hard to actually see anything on this map, to be honest, but I want to get my Kethane operations going on the moon so that we can actually do some interstellar stuff a little bit easier than well, I found something. A little bit easier than launching full tanks of fuel up all the time and stuff. Be a little more environmentally friendly and more economical, I guess. So I do want to get that going. We can go back to the Space Center. I'm just going to have to leave my computer when I'm not here one day and just have it do that. So anyhow, I think I'm going to end it here for the day. And when we come back, we will do something else. Thanks for watching.